2 years ago, I put out a video where I challenged myself to find the cheapest grocery store in my area. I did this by going to 3 of my local grocery stores, Walmart, H-E-B, and Aldi, and I compared the prices of some of the staple items that I think most people would be buying at the grocery store. And I used that information to find out which was the cheapest. Well, today I am pulling those prices from August of 2024 and going back to those 3 grocery stores to see how those prices have changed in the last 2 years. Now, before we get started, go ahead and drop a comment below and let me know, do you think that the prices have gone up or down, and by how much? Okay, let's get into it. The first thing that I looked at was a gallon of whole milk. Now, back in 2024, the cheapest place for me to get a gallon of milk was Aldi, and it was $2.74. Today, that same gallon of milk at Aldi is $2.80, so it has gone up a little bit. I also saw the price went up both at Walmart and at H-E-B. At Walmart, that gallon of milk went from $3.78 to $3.98, and at H-E-B it went from $4.28 to $4.88. So it went up. Oh no, yes, it went up across the board everywhere. I got my dates confused for a minute. The price of milk has increased at all 3 stores. Also, can we just talk about how H-E-B's milk price is like twice that of Aldi's? That's ridiculous. Okay, the next thing that I looked at was a dozen eggs. Now, this year in 2026, a dozen eggs at Walmart was $1.47. At H-E-B, it's $1.46, and at Aldi, it's $1.45. Now, I should say that for this purpose, I am always looking at store brand items, and I'm always picking the cheapest option that's available because I just wanted to keep it consistent across the board. So whatever the cheapest item is at H-E-B, the cheapest item at Walmart, and usually there's only one option at Aldi, but the cheapest item at Aldi. I wanted to keep things as consistent and comparable as possible. So those were a dozen eggs this year, but back in 2024, egg prices were $2.68 at Walmart, $2.68 at H-E-B, and $2.55 at Aldi. So egg prices have actually decreased. I thought that was pretty surprising, but remembering all the egg drama we've had over the past couple of years, I think that does make sense. The next item was a loaf of white bread. And again, remember, this is the store brand, the cheapest option that is available. So this year, a loaf of white bread is $1.27 at Walmart, 98 cents at H-E-B, and $1.25 at Aldi. 2 years ago, white bread was $1 at Walmart, 98 cents at H-E-B, and 99 cents at Aldi. So the bread prices have also gone up across the board. That's not true. Look, H-E-B's stayed the same. H-E-B stayed the same. It was 98 cents and it's 98 cents still. So Walmart and Aldi have gone up on bread. H-E-B has stayed the exact same price. Cool. Okay, the next thing I looked at was oatmeal. And at every single store, both quick oats and like old-fashioned oats were the same price for a 42-ounce container. So there wasn't a variable there, but I looked at the store brand of a 42-ounce container of oatmeal. And it looks like oatmeal has gone up in price again, but not as much. 2 years ago, that container of oatmeal was $3.95 at every single grocery store. And I remember thinking that that was so cool and that they must have just like come together and made an agreement about oatmeal. This year, it is $4.18 at Walmart, but both H-E-B and Aldi are at $3.99. So it went up by 4 cents at H-E-B and Aldi, and then up by a bit more at Walmart. Okay, the next item is just a standard can of black beans. And this one, you know, I don't think I was too surprised. I guess I wasn't really sure what to expect on whether it would go up or down, but it honestly stayed about the same. Last year, it was 86 cents at both Walmart and HEB, and then 99 cents at Aldi. And this year, it was 86 cents at Walmart, 85 cents at HEB, and 85 cents at Aldi. So it pretty much stayed the same, except Aldi, where it went down a little bit. So I thought that was pretty nice. I guess canned goods, probably because they have a longer shelf life and they're easier to, I'm assuming, easier to mass produce. I don't know if that's true, but anyway, that's what I'm thinking, is because of those variables, that maybe that's why it stayed the same. Don't know. Okay, the next thing I looked at was a package of spaghetti noodles. This year, in 2026, at Walmart, those spaghetti noodles were $1.16. At HEB, it was 76 cents. And at Aldi, it was $1.65. Now, 2 years ago, it was still $1.65 at Aldi. But Walmart was 98 cents and HEB was 88 cents. So it has gone up in price at Walmart and HEB and stayed the same at Aldi. Is that true? Look, I'm lying to you again. It actually went down at HEB. Yeah, it went down in price at HEB. I'm flipping my paper back and forth. Spaghetti was 88 cents 2 years ago at HEB, and now it is 76 cents. So excuse me, it went down there, but it went up at Walmart and stayed the same at Aldi. So that's interesting. Every single store on that one was a different outcome. I do think it makes sense that Aldi, 2 years ago, it was the highest price for the noodles. And this year it stayed the same. So that kind of makes sense. Okay, the next item is a bag of white rice. I looked at a 1 pound bag. Now, 2 years ago, I found that Aldi only carries a 3 pound bag of white rice, and that was still true today. So it's a little bit less comparable, because I'm sure you know that when you buy in bulk, you typically are going to get a better discount, and then things are going to be more affordable. But we still can compare their prices 2 years ago on that 3 pound bag to what it is today for the 3 pound bag. Now, first we'll look, Walmart and HEB was 92 cents. Both of them was 92 cents for that 1 pound bag this year. And 2 years ago, it was also 92 cents for the 1 pound bag. So that stayed exactly the same. In 2024, it was $2.45 for a 3 pound bag at Aldi. And this year, it was $2.65 for that 3 pound bag. The Aldi price has gone up on rice, but Walmart and HEB stayed the exact same. The next thing I looked at was peanut butter. Now, HEB and Aldi, I looked at the 18-ounce jar of peanut butter. Walmart does not offer a store brand 18-ounce jar. They only have a 16-ounce jar. So that's just something to keep in mind. Walmart was $1.98 for that 16-ounce jar this year. 2 years ago, they were $1.94. So up just a little bit. 2 years ago, HEB was $2.48 for peanut butter. This year, it's $1.95. So that one has gone down. And then 2 years ago, it was $1.99 at Aldi for the peanut butter. This year, it was $1.99. So that one stayed the same. So again, every store did something a little bit different, which I find fascinating, honestly. Completely fascinating. Okay, the next thing that I looked at was frozen mixed vegetables, just a 12-ounce bag. Now again, when you're looking to save money, if you have the freezer space and everything for a larger bag, then that's going to get you the best bang for your buck. But I just wanted to keep it consistent across the board. So we looked at a 12-ounce bag at every store. This year, 2026, it was 98 cents at Walmart, 97 cents at HEB, and $1.49 at Aldi. Now, I will say that when I went to Aldi, they did not actually have the price on those mixed veggies, but they had it on a different kind of vegetable, and like frozen vegetable, and it seemed comparable. So that was what I was going with. I don't know why the price wasn't there. Just doing my best. Now, 2 years ago, this is interesting. It was 98 cents at Walmart, so exact same price, has not moved. It was $1.48 at HEB, so that's actually gone down in price. And it was $1.15 at Aldi. So Aldi has gone up in price, assuming that everything with that price was correct. So that one's a little bit of an outlier, but interesting that Walmart stayed the same and H-E-B actually went down in price to be more comparable to that Walmart price. Okay, the next thing I looked at was flour and sugar, a 5-pound bag of flour and a 4-pound bag of sugar. And again, remember, these are the generic, the store brands. I'm not looking at anything fancy, organic, just completely run-of-the-mill stuff here. Let's look first at 2024. So 2024, a 5-pound bag of flour at Walmart was $2.38. Today, it is $2.38. At H-E-B, it was $2.29, and today it is $1.95. So we've gone down some. And then at Aldi 2 years ago, it was $2.35, and it's $1.95 at Aldi. So that one has gone down as well. So Walmart stayed the same. H-E-B and Aldi went down. Sugar, the 4-pound bag, was at Walmart $2.38. It is $3.56 at Walmart now. That's where you're not going to get sugar because it was $2.95 at H-E-B and now it's $2.54. And it was also $2.95 at Aldi and it's $2.55 there. So if you need sugar, let's just go to H-E-B or Aldi. And of course, these prices are, I live in Central Texas. If you live in a different state or honestly even in a different part of Texas, your prices, of course, are going to vary. But this is still a really interesting little experiment to look at the data and see how these prices have changed, which ones have changed, where they've changed, and how that's kind of evolved in the last 2 years. I'm finding it so interesting. But yeah, please don't go get sugar at Walmart if you live in Central Texas. And also do not get your milk at H-E-B because it's $1 cheaper at Walmart and like $2 cheaper, $2.08 cheaper at Aldi. So yeah, H-E-B, which is my pride and joy, is not where I need to be getting my milk. Okay, the next thing I looked at were diapers. Now, you may not be in the diaper season, but maybe you know someone who is, and I do think that that is worth looking at because those prices can get a little crazy. The first thing I looked at was a store brand diaper. Now, of course, Aldi does not have a store brand diaper. The other thing I looked at is Huggies. Full disclosure, I actually never used Huggies, but it's so popular and I knew it would be at every store. So that's what I went with 2 years ago. And so that's what I'm looking at now. Okay, at Walmart, these are all size 5 as well, because I wanted to keep it like the same as much as I could. At Walmart right now, in 2026, it is $27.38 for their store brand size 5. And that comes out to 16.9 cents like unit price, so like per diaper. So it was $27.38 2 years, or it is $27.38, excuse me. 2 years ago, it was $27.38. So same thing. Great. H-E-B, their store brand, which by the way, when I was using diapers was excellent. It is today $33.98, which comes out to 18.3 for the unit price. And that one has gone up because 2 years ago it was $24.98. So now the only diapers that were available at Aldi were $12.99, and that was for a pack of 72 diapers. So obviously that's going to be a bit different because at these other places you're able to buy them in a larger quantity, and that helps you with your pricing. Now let's look at Huggies. Today at Walmart, it's $39.77 for the Huggies, and 2 years ago it was $39.97. Okay, all right. Walmart might be the place for diapers, it's looking like, because it seems to also stay consistent. Now, this year, it's $39.97 at H-E-B for those Huggies. 2 years ago, it was $24.98. So it used to be, oh, excuse me, I looked at the wrong line. 2 years ago, it was $45.77. So it is $39.97. It was $45.77. So that one has gone down in price. So that's really good. Diapers, it still seems like maybe Walmart. If you're going to get store brand, Walmart is going to be the way for you to go. Okay, I also looked at Tide, but here's something interesting. 2 years ago, I looked at the box that had 143 ounces. That box does not exist anymore. So now it is 129 ounce box was the largest of the like powdered Tide that I could get. 2 years ago, the price for Tide, that 143 ounces, was $22.94 at both Walmart and HEB. And of course, Aldi does not carry that. So remember that, $22.94 for 143 ounces. Today, it is more than that. It's $24.94 at both stores for 129 ounces. So you are paying more money and you are getting less ounces. That is rude. I do not approve of that at all. So there you go. I also think that if we remember like 2 years ago, 2024, were we still in the like crazy clean everything with Tide? Was that still happening, or was that closer to like 2020? I don't know, but I'm wondering if that's why there was a larger option then and not one now. But either way, the price went up and the size went down, and that's rude. Okay, the last two things that I checked were meat items. And this one was one that I was really interested to see how it changed. So I looked at chicken breast, and what I looked at was the per pound price for like the largest pack of chicken breasts, because that's where you're going to get the most, bang for your buck. I feel like I keep saying that. I'm sorry. Let's look at 2024. 2024 at Walmart, it was $2.67 per pound. Today, it is $2.23 at Walmart. Good price, like that. At HEB, it was $2.19 per pound in 2024, and today it is $2.19 per pound. So HEB stayed exactly the same. Love that. Love the consistency. 2 years ago, it was $2.39 per pound at Aldi, and today it is $2.19. So Aldi went down, Walmart went up, and HEB stayed the same. Now, again, this is not organic. This is not fancy. This is not Tyson. This is like the store brand, the cheapest one that was available, the most economical possible of fresh, not already frozen chicken breast. Because I believe that when you buy them already frozen, I think that might be cheaper. Just food for thought. That might be something worth checking out if you're looking to save some money. Ground beef. Okay, I looked at a 1 pound of ground beef, and I was trying to look for 90/10. I feel like everything was like 93/17. Is that a thing? I don't know. It's obviously going to show on the screen here in a minute, but it wasn't quite 90/10, but it was very close to 90/10. And I think that's the same way it was 2 years ago too. Maybe I just don't know what fat content ground beef typically comes in. It feels like a me thing. Okay, so 2 years ago, I was able to get a price for Walmart and HEB, but not Aldi, because at the time, Aldi was, or at least my Aldi, only had like a organic pricier version, and I didn't think that was fair because it wasn't comparing apples to apples. Last year, the ground beef at Walmart was $6.98 a pound, and today it is $6.97 a pound. So technically, it went down by a penny. At HEB, 2 years ago, it was $6.47 a pound, and this year it was $7.38 a pound. So go to Walmart for your ground beef. And even though I did not have a price for Aldi for 2 years ago, I did go ahead and get the price for today, just because that's great information. It was $7.29 a pound at Aldi. So Aldi and HEB were higher than Walmart on ground beef. And I find it really interesting. I don't think there's like a clear cut looking at all the prices on one store like is winning for being the cheapest and the best place to go. Even Aldi, honestly, although Aldi, I'm trying to see, let me look here. Yeah, a lot of times it looks like Aldi is comparable. Sometimes it's a tiny bit higher, at least on these specific items. I think if I were to look at like fresh produce and some other kind of items, we would see where Aldi kind of really shines in those areas, I think. But now I'm questioning everything I know. But either way, it doesn't seem like there's one specific store that like really stands out. Now, here's something I noticed, and I noticed this 2 years ago too, and this just information to have. HEB, when I went in the store physically to get all of these prices at all three of the stores. When I then go into the app or online for HEB, the prices are a bit higher. And they were averaging ish, like it depended per item, but I would say averaged around like 30% or 30, could you imagine? 30% higher. And that was the same 2 years ago. I said that HEB's online prices were about 3.5% higher. So even if you're doing like a curbside pickup, which is free, there's not a delivery fee or anything. And if you order it, at least where I am, if you order it far enough in advance, there's no fee for curbside. You're still technically paying more than if you were to go in the store yourself. So you are paying for that convenience. Walmart, on the other hand, their in-store prices and their online prices were the same. Now, having said that, I was recently reading an article about some changes that stores are making in dynamic pricing, where I'm sure you've probably heard about it, but basically the prices change very frequently. One example I believe it gave was like cough syrup, child sick medication, a child's medication for like Tylenol, cough syrup, something like that. During the day costs X amount of money, but the price changes at night when it's like more of an emergency. I can't get to the doctor, I'm worried, the price would go up. So that was one example. There's also been, I don't know if it is suspected or just proven, but talking about using cameras. So there's different prices for different people, and depending upon like your shopping history that might show up in the app and your appearance while you were in the store, the prices might be more or less. And it seems like there might be some lawsuits about that. I'm not well informed at all. Okay. I want to be so clear about that. I am barely dipping my toe into finding out about this. I do think it's worthwhile for us to just kind of know about it, keep it in the back of our minds, and just be aware. Going into the store right now seems to be your best bet for saving money if that's what you're looking to do, rather than using an app. And just kind of maybe, I mean, not fear mongering. I'm not trying to scare anyone or anything like that. I don't want to share negativity, but just kind of keep in the back of your mind and know that this is something that might be happening, might be rolling out in the future. And I just think we all need to be aware so that we can just have a little more what control we can have over where our dollar goes and how far it stretches. All right, so that is everything looking at the prices from 2024 compared to today. Let me know which one surprised you the most, because I thought that was so fascinating. And if you're interested in anything else about how prices are fluctuating at grocery stores, let me know and we can do a video on that too. Thank you so much for watching and spending a little bit of your very precious time with me today, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.